E3 has come and gone, and Bioware have finally shown the world what Project Dylan really is. At the Xbox conference, Jonathan Warner, game director on Anthem, revealed the new shared world action RPG to the world. We watched as characters in javelin suits flew around a lush jungle forest environment while also blowing up enemies with a shoulder-mounted weapon. We liked what we saw, and while we wait for more info on the game, I thought I'd try and bring together as much confirmed information as possible on the game. Hey everyone, Ash here, and this is everything we found so far about Anthem. So the official Anthem website has a few snippets of info regarding the Javelin mech suits, the world setting, and a couple more bits too. The first section is titled Venture into Danger and says that in this shared world action RPG, you and your friends are freelancers, the bold few with the courage to leave civilization behind, explore a landscape of primeval beauty and confront the dangers you find. We get to see some of the more primeval side of life outside the wall when we bump into this rather large chap while investigating the surroundings. Next we have a section titled Unite with Friends, saying that up to 4 players can band together to take on whatever perils are discovered. It also confirms that if your friends support you in your journey, the rewards will benefit both you and your team. Next we have a few details that confirm us as the player can have more than one Javelin suit, that we can customize and upgrade that suit, and that we'll be able to fly, leap and climb in the suit, as well as blow some stuff up, but we've already seen that anyway. Starting with the title Rise to Any Challenge, which says wield an arsenal of Javelin exosuits, each equipped with unique weapons and abilities, customized with gear that you earn and craft, then use them to fly, leap and climb through a contiguous open world. In my mind, the way I read this is multiple javelins, multiple ways to cause some damage. Next up we have a section titled Chart Your Path, saying experience massive world-altering occurrences like Shaper Storms, fight savage beasts and ruthless marauders, delve forgotten ruins as you seek to defeat the forces plotting to conquer humanity. We got to see the ferocity of a Shaper Storm at the end of the gameplay reveal, and while this guy seems more than willing to jump into the centre of this thing, we're interested to see what other events are going to occur in this world. Jonathan Warner confirmed that the group of enemies we come across during the gameplay are called Scars, but I'm sure we'll come across much more in the way of enemies. And just who are the forces that are plotting to conquer humanity? Hopefully we won't have to wait too long to find out. Finally, we come to the last little section called Control Your Fate. Your power will grow with every step into the unknown. Whether plunder, revenge or glory lures you onwards, your choices will irrevocably change you, and the world around you. Bioware games have always had an element of choice and making your own journey involved in their games. And I know that a lot of people voice some concerns over the game being a shared world shooter and not having a real focus on a single player experience or an in-depth story for its new universe. But both Jonathan Warner and lead designer on Anthem Corey Gasper have both said that you can play Anthem either with friends or alone and you can still enjoy an amazing Bioware story, as seen here in Corey's own tweet. For me, I like to play games with friends online, as well as an awesome single player story driven experience. So if Bioware can find an even balance between the two for me, then I'll be pretty happy with that. Jonathan Warner, game director on Anthem, had an interview with Jeff Keighley after the gameplay reveal, and while a good amount of the information mentioned we already knew, I'll be focusing on the main points mentioned in the interview. Some of the information included that you can play as a team or you can play on your own. We're called freelancers, people for hire to take on missions outside Fort Tarsus. People will be surprised as to how frictionless the whole experience is. That we're going to face an array of enemies, including the natural enemies, like the beasties we saw in the demo, as well as other human enemies with Javelin suit technology, of which more will be revealed in the future. Fort Tarsus is a main hub for customizing javelins and picking up quests. There is also a possibility of there being more than one hub area too. Humanity are the lowest on the food chain and need the javelin suits just to be able to step outside the safety of Fort Tarsus. In terms of combat, you can use gunplay with a variety of guns, or you can add heavy weaponry to your javelin suit to engage with the enemies. Apparently we'll be getting a great Bioware story that in some ways that we might have already felt accustomed to, but then when questioned about Anthem having character romances, Jonathan Warner's reaction was this.
Will we get any romances in this? It's Bioware again?
I don't think they want me to talk about that just yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
So hopefully with Warner saying that he can't talk about that yet, and to stay tuned, means that there may be romances of some kind in Anthem. But for now, we'll have to wait and see. Jonathan Warner said that Bioware wants Anthem to be a game that people play for a long time over the course of months and years, and that they are building the world so that it can be continually expanded, and packing this world full of stories is what they being Bioware and the Anthem team, are really after. The game will be releasing in the fall of 2018, and the reason they call the game Anthem was because an anthem is something that brings a group of people together, giving people a sense of purpose that is greater than themselves, and that this feeling is something that they definitely want to imbue into the game. Patrick Soderlund of EA has been quoted as saying that once Anthem releases next year, he thinks it will be the start of possibly a 10-year journey for the game. This seemingly mirroring the deal between Bungie and Activision for the Destiny games, but as to whether Anthem will get a base game release and then have big expansions added over a long period of time, or do a Destiny and have a reset every couple of years, remains to be seen. Aaron Flynn took part in an interview about Anthem with Edmonton AM, a Canadian radio station, just after returning from E3. And a few more snippets of information were given and are as follows. We are freelancers who are there to protect and save humanity on an alien planet far away. No mention yet as to how humanity reached this faraway alien planet though. Bioware are calling the genre of the game science fantasy, with Aaron Flynn saying that the science fantasy is similar to things like Star Wars and the Marvel Universe, where you see lots of amazing things, but you don't worry too much as to how and why these things are happening. Anthem as a game in this science fantasy genre is more about having fun in the game world in a lush and exotic environment and really sucks you in. Aaron Flynn says that since the original idea for Anthem, the game has been worked on for nearly 5 years now. Anthem came about after the conclusion of Mass Effect 3, and is something that they are taking very seriously, as it is rare in the gaming industry to get a chance to create a whole new IP. Bioware Edmonton and Bioware Austin are working together to bring Anthem to the players. So we've looked at various bits and pieces of other Anthem news. Now let's focus on the gameplay itself and some details that have come from the devs about the gameplay. On Twitter, Jonathan Warner confirmed that flying in the Javelin suits is fully player controlled rather than having any assistance. We've also got a much closer and clearer look at the location markers that appeared in the gameplay reveal thanks to the awesome people over at the Anthem Whispers Twitter account. Be sure to go and check them out, as well as a closer look at the nameplates that appeared on screen too, as well as percentage indicators, although not 100% sure what they mean at this point. We also see what seem to be specialist icons, 4 of them to be exact. The one on the top seems to be a shield, on the right there's a lightning bolt, possibly indicating an electrical speciality of some sort. Then at the bottom we have what looks like an ice or cold indicator, Ice Blast special ability perhaps, and finally on the left we have a fire ability, one that I personally look forward to using. You can also see that I've had a little fun with the nameplates by adding mine and Rima's name in. Would you like to be our Paul and Sandra when the game releases and join Team Odyssey? Be sure to let us know. Did you like the music you heard in the gameplay reveal? Well, Jonathan Warner confirmed that the composer of that music in the trailer will be composing the soundtrack for the full game. That composer is Ted Reedy. Ted has a pretty solid career in composing music for TV and movies, but for gamers, his work on Dragon Age Inquisition and its DLC is probably what we've heard most recently. Warner confirmed Ted Reedy as the composer in a response to a tweet from a follower who said they really liked the music in the trailer and asked would this music be indicative of what we can expect to hear in the full game, to which Warner confirmed that this is what we should expect to hear when playing. And finally, to end on, Corey Gasper, lead designer at Bioware on Anthem, has put out a tweet in the last couple of days or so asking for fan input about what they want to see in the game. He asks, "Fans, what is your number one thing you want to see in Anthem game? We are eager to hear your feedback, let's keep up the positive energy." So if you want to have your voice heard and want to give some feedback directly to the developers, I'll leave a link to the tweet in the description below so you can leave some feedback to the devs should you want to. So, as of recording this, which is the 2nd of July, and as of the video going up, which should be the 4th of July, that's all for now. We've got a lot more Anthem videos coming up in the near future, so be sure to subscribe to keep up to date on this and more. For now though, we leave with some questions. Are you looking forward to Anthem, and if so, what specifically are you looking forward to? And with Corey Gasper asking for feedback, we want to know what you want to see above all else in Anthem. And you never know, your response may show up in a community edition of a video in the near future. Thanks for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you again very soon.